It's time to meet Clifton.
With your host, Ray Grabowski.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to Meet Clifton. You know, normally on the show, we like to start things off on a lighter note, but today, before we dive into the fun, we want to take a moment to talk about something incredibly important: voting. As we all know, this is an election year, and November 5th is just around the corner, and it's our chance to make our voices heard. Voting isn't just a right, it's a responsibility. It's our opportunity to shape the future and ensure that our concerns, our hopes, and our dreams are represented. Every vote matters. Every single one of us has the power to impact our community, our state, and our nation. So let's not take this moment for granted. I encourage all of you to get informed, get involved, and most importantly, get out and vote. Together we can make a difference. Well, we have a wide variety of topics to get to tonight, including alternative medicine and dance. We have some great guests and, as usual, some great music. So stick around and we'll be right back.
Tonight's guests are Animal Control Officer Steele Leone, Sifu Pedro Cepero Yee, dancer and teacher Kirsten Genovese, featuring the music of Swingman and the Misfit Mutts. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another episode of Meet Clifton.
Okay, so welcome to the show. It's a great honor to have with us Steele Leone. He's our lead animal control officer in Clifton. And we have a plethora of questions for him because he's a busy man. But first, Steele, just tell us, what does your job involve?
So my job for the city of Clifton as the lead animal control officer is to stop the spread of rabies.
Really?
So the biggest thing is if we don't do that, then animals and people are going to get very sick. So when I took the course and learned about this job, I like animals. Right. So I just thought that, I get to play with animals and take care of them and everything like that. And then it got serious. And I realized, oh my gosh, we're actually making a huge difference for the ecosystem and the people. And I had no idea what it was involved. And it was pretty interesting. Pretty interesting.
I mean, you're busy, but also, you get calls for animals, disruptive animals. I don't know how you put that, but people, the dogs on the loose or...
Yes, so for the city of Clifton, it's 203-10. It's dog at large. So let's say you're enjoying your time, you're spending time with your family at a park, and all of a sudden, someone's dog breaks loose off the chain. And that dog starts chasing people, starts going after other dogs. Some dogs are dog aggressive. So that's when we come in and we try to contain the dog, find out if the dog was involved in any types of bites or injuries, and make sure that the dog is licensed with the city of Clifton. And now if the dog is licensed, doesn't matter what town, if the dog is licensed and it's up to date on rabies shots. And that's what most people don't know. If you see a license, you know that dog is up to date on its shot. Now, if someone has a rabies shot for their dog, but they don't have a license, you're not really sure. So some people don't get the license, but they go to their vet and they get a rabies shot. So when you go to the vet, make sure once you get your dog and the up-to-date rabies shot, you go to our city of Clifton, you go to the health department, and you get your dog licensed.
Yes, and let me ask you this. Maybe you could explain, because I see it all the time. We have a leash law
Yes.
in Clifton. Now, I go to parks, and maybe you could explain that law a little bit.
Absolutely.
The dog has to be on the leash.
Dog has to be on a leash, and it has to be a 6-foot leash. Now, 6-foot leash means that you have control of your dog. Unfortunately, you've seen it where someone's walking down the park and their dog pulls, and then it jumps onto a, child or regular person and scratches them or pushes them down. You could still be charged with dog at large. Dog at large is when the dog is running or when you lose control of your dog. You could have the leash, but still lose control of your dog.
Of course.
We're not running around trying to get people in trouble. We just want you to be good dog owners. We want you to be able to contain your dog. Now, if your dog is on a 20-foot lead, you're not controlling your dog. Unless you went through amazing training with your dog and he's spot on. 20-foot leash, if you're walking at the park and he's going to be able to at some point get away from you where you can't control him and run into the road, stuff like that. And that's where we see some problems. Even the retractable leashes, I would never let my dog on a retractable leash. Number one, it's illegal, but we're not going to really, we're not going to come after you for a retractable leash. We don't want to come after anyone. We just want people to be safe. But if you have a Rottweiler that's 100 pounds and you have a thin retractable leash, that is destined for failure. And we just want, you to use the best equipment or just common sense, to be able to keep your dog safe.
It's a 6-foot leash.
6-foot
and that's the
leash.
law. Anywhere in the park, your dog is not allowed
For
to
the
run.
city of Clifton,
For the
it
city of
is
Clifton.
6-foot leash.
Okay, because a lot of people don't know that, and you go to parks and their dogs are chasing sticks, and
Absolutely.
running around, and so that's illegal.
Absolutely. There are places that you can let your dog run around, but for the city of Clifton, for our parks, you're not allowed to do
Okay,
that.
so that's important.
That is
I wanna
important.
because we see that all the time, and can they be fined?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely. The first time we try to give people a warning,
right.
but if your dog runs through 2 lanes of traffic and then tackles a child, my hands are tied. I have to enforce the law.
Okay, and we talk. You don't do anything with cats, technically.
Well,
Or do you?
We're all around cats. So the city of Clifton, we have a big cat population,
Yeah, we do.
and we have feral cats that are considered wildlife, and then we have stray cats that are indoor, outdoor,
Right.
and they're friendly to people. If I could give the people of Clifton some advice, try not to touch the stray cats or the feral cats, because you don't know if those cats were vaccinated. There's been plenty of times where someone tried to do the right thing and they're holding this cat saying, yeah, please take it, please help. And then I see dripping blood and I go, sir, what just happened there? Oh, well, he bit me, but it's okay, I'm a tough guy. I know you're a tough guy, but the first thing I just mentioned, what our jobs are for animal control officers is to stop the spread of rabies.
Right.
So unfortunately, when a cat that we have no pedigree on, we don't know if that cat was vaccinated. That one time, the person that got bit, that cat was 100% rabid. It was positive for rabies, and they had to go through thousands of dollars of
Because it's serious. It's serious.
medical and rabies shots, and some insurance companies cover it. I don't do insurance, and I'm not a doctor, but I've been around the block a time or two, and you're going to be spending like $12,000 easy. So it's rough. Don't touch animals that aren't yours.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
And just really quick, because it's kind of funny, I get calls, from a lot of people all over town, and animals you do not go after. And raccoons? No.
So, absolutely. I wrestle a raccoon probably once
all right.
a week.
Okay.
Yeah. So for the city of Clifton, we do all types of wildlife, but it has to be in a living space.
Okay.
So for the city of Clifton, if you call and say, hey, there's a raccoon on my kitchen table and he's eating my Chinese food, and that happened, we have to go out.
Okay.
We have to go out. We have to contain the animal, and if the animal is not injured, we release them right on scene outside.
You don't take them away.
We unless there's a reason for me to do that. If I see kids playing and it's not a safe area for the animal, I will remove them and bring them to a better place than where they were.
Coyote, fox,
Coyotes and fox, they do their.
they're protected, right?
All the animals are protected, especially all the animals are protected by me in the city of Clifton. I love them all. But we go out when there's a reason. When they're sick, when they're injured, or when they're in your living space. We have a lot of calls where there's some skunks, raccoons, you name it. I've got calls for monkeys, but it didn't end up being a monkey. I was really disappointed. It was a Kikachu. But anyway, yeah, say that 10 times fast. So if they're in an attic space, we cannot go out. Apparently I'm not liable to go on ladders. So we can't go into non-living spaces, and anything that, so unfortunately it's sad to think about, but when animals are hit by cars, and I don't like talking about it, but you have to, for the city of Clifton, if it's a dog or a cat, we need to go out. You need to call us. We go out, we scan the animal for a microchip. If it comes back that there's a chip, we contact the agency, and then we discuss of what the next way to go about this is. You don't want to just call the person and say, hey, your pet is, and I regret all those phone calls because it's tough. I dread it more like. So, but God forbid, if it was your pet, you would want to know.
Yeah, of course.
So that's unfortunate. Now, if a wild animal, if a raccoon is hit by a car, if it's injured and it's still alive, we go out. And we're going to try to take care of it. Either go to a really great place, Franklin Lakes Animal Hospital, or any type of rehabilitator that will help us. Unfortunately, sometimes it's too much, and you unfortunately have to PTS, and we don't like that. Now, if a possum is hit by a car, so it is in the kangaroo family, and they have pouches. So if you call about a possum that was hit or injured or sick, I'm going out, because I can bet you if it's spring and it's a female, she has babies in her pouch.
Wow.
So I have to go in there and I have to get them out of the pouch, because they could still be alive when the mother's.
Wow, I didn't know you went out for all these animals.
Yeah, it's wild. And then what you do is you take those babies and you go to a rehabilitator, God bless them, and they take care of the babies, and they rehabilitate them, and then they release them into the wild. So just with knowing a little bit of knowledge about the animals in your neighborhood, you could save a whole generation of wildlife.
And then on the other spectrum of that, do you hear a lot of like animal cruelty that's happening? Has it been reduced lately, or what's happening on that end of that?
You get involved in that, right?
I assist with animal cruelty. So I am a certified animal cruelty investigator.
Okay.
And unfortunately, the state of New Jersey made it where they made a new position, and it's called HELO, Humane Law Enforcement Officer. So now they have to appoint a HELO officer, and they want them now to be police, detectives, and so on. So unfortunately, what I went to school for, I can't use, but I can help the police investigate animal cruelty. So now it's the police department that works with the prosecutor. So any animal cruelty concerns and complaints, you have to contact the Clifton Police Department. Unfortunately, Clifton Animal Control, we're not able to investigate anymore, but you could bet that if God forbid something happened, the police, the first phone call they're going to make is one of us, and we're going to go assist them, and they could do everything that has to do with the law and prosecuting. But we go in when the animals are suffering.
Because you hate to see that. See, I don't know Clifton so much, but it happens. It happens. Some people are cruel to their pets. Chain them up, leave them outside without water.
I'd say twice a week.
You do?
Yeah, maybe.
In summer it was hot.
Summer,
I had a lot of phone calls, people saying the dog's outside all day, no water, barking.
Yeah, we have a lot of bad people leaving animals in front of the shelter and throwing dogs, abandoning animals, and it's unfortunate that
And we don't want that, because I've heard that.
Yeah.
Have you seen that more recently, or it's kind of like constant?
For the past 5 years that I've been working for Clifton Animal Control, actually 6 years, I believe that it's consistent. I think that I would love to see them prosecute a little bit more with these cases.
Yeah, so what
who wants animals to be abused?
No,
So
they're so helpless. They depend on us.
Absolutely.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
now, if you want to, I know you came in with your main topic is rabies. So I know you have. If you want to put a pitch out for that before we go.
So the Clifton Health Department is hosting a rabies clinic, and it is November 16th at 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. That is a Saturday, and Wednesday, November 20th, 5 to 7. So I'm going to just give you guys just a little tip of if you're going to bring your pet here. So number one, if you don't know if your dog is vaccinated, you should. If you don't, I would recommend bringing your dog anyway and talking to the veterinarian that we have on scene. Amazing veterinarians. Number two, make sure you have a collar on your dog that is tight. A lot of people have a collar that's like a scarf. It slides off. Now, if your dog is aggressive with other dogs and you have a loose collar, it is not a good situation. So you want to be able to have your equipment connected and strong for your dog. 6-foot leash or shorter, especially in a rabies clinic that we're going to have 50 to 100 animals there. This rabies clinic, I believe, is just dogs only. In the spring, we do cats, but this is going to be dogs only. When you're online, pay attention to your surroundings. If you see that one dog may seem a little bit aggressive, keep your dog away from it. Just simple things to keep your animals safe. I would come early, and hopefully it will be good weather, and it is outside, and it is at 307 East 7th Street at the Clifton DPW at their garage. You won't miss it. We'll have a lot of workers there flagging you on to come in.
And we'll post the flyer up on the thing.
Sure.
So. I appreciate it, Steele.
Absolutely.
Great information.
Absolutely.
Thanks very much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hello, Clifton and friends, and welcome to the updates. I'm Sharon Krabanix, and happy to share some news with you. On Sunday, October 27th, the Recreation Department invites all to attend one of the biggest events of the year, our Halloween Parade and Harvest Fest. Beginning at 12:15 p.m. and continuing through the afternoon, the Harvest Fest will include an apple pie baking contest, a costume contest, a scarecrow contest, a parade, and more. So we hope you can make it out for the day of fun and celebration. Now, for more information on this and other events, please visit www.cliftonrec.com or call 973-470-5956 or visit the Recreation Department at City Hall. They're right on the second floor. The Clifton Health Department would like to inform you of a chance to participate in a blood drive. Now, this is in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month on Monday, October 21st, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the City of Clifton Satellite Office at 207 Parker Avenue. So to sign up for this drive, please visit nybc.org/sponsor and enter sponsor code 72636. It's an important event, so please do take care of your health. We do appreciate that. And the Clifton Arts Center has several events lined up that they encourage everyone to get involved in, so save these dates. So on Saturday, October 26th at 12:30 p.m., there will be a mixed media art class entitled Flowers from Poland. And on November 6th, the Art Center will begin the exhibit Clifton's Quarantine Station, which will showcase the history of the Art Center building. Now, the Quarantine Station was one of very few in the United States, so this is an important history event for Clifton. And November 13th begins the annual holiday pop-up boutique at the Art Center, which will run until December 14th. So please shop, 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 but do not drop, but enjoy shopping. And there are 2 remaining concerts for the Art Center. On November 18th at 1 p.m., we'll be hearing from the Jamestown Trio. And on December 1st at 2 p.m., the Holiday Brass Quartet. Excellent music and a chance to really enjoy the Arts Center in a different type of venue. And finally, the Passaic County 200 Club will be hosting an Italian night benefit dinner on Tuesday, November 12th at 6 p.m. Now, this event is advanced ticket sales only, so be sure to get your tickets in advance at www.pc200club.org. This is a special, wonderful event where they do take care of the firemen, the EMTs, the police department. So please help them so that they can continue helping the fallen. And thank you again for your attention and time, and we'll see you around the neighborhood soon. And we always appreciate you stopping in, recognizing our events, and also just saying hello to us. So thank you again.
So welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. And I have a special guest, Sifu Pedro Cepero Yi from Yi's Hung Ga Kung Fu School. Actually, it's right here in Clifton. Sifu's so involved in Kung Fu, but we want to talk about a topic that's called Qigong, which utilizes internal energy to improve our health. But to understand this, Sifu has to first explain Qi.
Okay, so they usually say it's the energy that actually animates the body. So nothing lives. When you're alive, the movement is all about energy. The energy travels in the body just below the skin, and it's actually produced within the fat cells in the body. This is called bioelectricity. But these particular highways on the body that we have bring the energy to the organs and help things to run smoother. And Qi itself, once you pass away, at that moment, you see when a body goes to just substance, right? So energy, we can feel it when someone walks in a room. We can feel it when someone passes their hand over someone else's. We can utilize it to make ourselves healthy, but also we can utilize it to help others become healthy also. So we can balance people's energy, we can remove blockages, and there's a lot of different usages of it.
Now, there's techniques in Qigong, right?
There's tons of techniques and styles. You know, there's more than 1,200 different styles of Qigong, and they all focused on different ways of helping the body. Some are martial Qigong that are used in the martial arts, like we do use the Qigong in the Kung Fu. Some are medical, which are very focused on helping cancer patients, anyone with any type of disharmony within the body. And then we have some that help you to become smarter. But most of all, there's a big contingent of people across the world, millions who practice Qigong to improve their health or bring their body back into balance after having a life-changing incident.
Okay, so someone comes to you and wants to learn Qigong. You're going to ask them for what purpose do they want Qigong? Because
Yes.
it's I don't want to call it a dance,
Right, right.
but it's a form.
Yes.
And I'm sure, I don't know how long one particular form takes, but maybe you could explain that.
Sure. So there are different exercises. I mean, going back more than 2,000 years, Qigong has been used in the medical sense or for the health sense in different ways. And they say originally it was created with the Sha Wu women in China, who used to go in a trance and then they'd be able to use their energy, put their hands over people and help them to heal. Today it's very systematized, right? So different movements, and the key is a movement has to be able to stretch a particular area which contains one of those highways of energy in order to activate the movement of that energy. And that becomes the key. There are some meditations where you just sit and use the mind to move, but you really have to learn how to control the power of the mind. So in Qi and Qigong practice, there are 3 basic principles. You have to regulate the body posture, which is really simple. If a straw is bent, nothing goes through it. But if you put the posture right, then the energy or the liquid could go through the straw. So the same thing is with the body. If you put the body in a proper position, the energy flows naturally. The second is the breath. The breath, we have to understand, can control all the systems in the body, right? Without the breath, you don't live. So in order for the body, when you breathe in, if you take a long breath in and a short breath out, right, this will give you a lot of energy. But if you take a short breath in and a long breath out, this will bring down your energy. So for instance, people with high blood pressure, if they take a short breath in and a long breath out, what ends up happening is their blood pressure automatically being slower. So we have the ability to use this energy in these movements of stretching and moving certain parts of the body to allow the flow to go, combined with the breath. And then the mind is the last piece where you have to lead the energy. But that's a skill that you really have to learn to have acute control of it.
Now, we hear a lot of anxiety is a big issue. Anxiety, panic attacks, things
Yes.
like this. Is Qigong something that could be useful for people?
Very useful. I had the head of the mood and anxiety disorder program for Mount Sinai Hospital send me people, and they had a lot of success helping them using it. So you think about it, anxiety is when everything feels like it's closing, the chest closes. If you could move that and open that internally, that begins to release those things. But also the mind with perspective, there are a lot of things that help in making or helping the people to understand that. But through the practice, they feel they have control, and when they feel an episode coming, they can calm it really quickly.
So it's kind of like having some way to relieve the anxiety.
100%, yes.
You know, I guess something, I can't think of the word exactly, but a procedure or something
Yes, there is.
that you teach people.
There is, and there are many things. I'm going to have a project, something called the 3-5-10 project. It's a simple meditation project. It's only 2 minutes, 18 breaths. And by doing this, again, it's for people with high blood pressure, automatically brings the blood pressure normalized. Doesn't matter how heavy it is, how high it is, zoop, brings it right down. We've done this in doctors' offices and things like that. So yes, there's very different types of, if you have problems in your liver, we have movement and sound that actually affects the organ, which creates change to move things along. So it could be the liver, the heart, the spleen, the kidney, so all the main organs.
So it's really involved.
It's very involved.
And I know someone's going to, I don't want to bring this up, different topic, but Tai Chi, is it something, is it a form?
So Tai Chi is a martial art, right? Number one. So all the Kung Fu styles, the focus is first on building the energy.
Okay.
Tai Chi has a focus of moving slow in most cases. There are different styles, but the most popular, the Yang style, focuses on moving slow and coordinating the breath with movement. Technically, it is a Qigong movement, but the styles of the Tai Chi are actually martial arts first. So second is the Qigong.
Okay, because I know people get that confused.
Yes.
Because Qigong, there's a lot.
Oh, there's a lot, yes.
And I guess people would have to come and say, listen, I'm suffering from this, but I know anxiety is big.
In this
Because-
day and age, yes.
Right, in this age, that's all you ever hear, it's all you ever see. Anxiety, and especially in younger kids.
Especially, these days
Yeah,
especially.
these days, the school kids, you hear it all the time. My daughter, my son has anxiety. They can't go to school.
Yes,
You know, I'm thinking Qigong might be something that could help them.
And it does, and I have a lot of school-age children,
Yeah.
which I've dealt with also in that respect, so yes.
And then is there a lot of different procedures that they have to do at home to continue feeling better about that? I mean,
So
is it a long process or
it
every
is
day they have to do like a prayer or
Right,
something?
right, so it is a practice.
Okay.
So if I tell them, okay, you have to hold your hands in front of your chest, you have a lung problem, and then you begin breathing, fill your body with the energy, and use your mind to lead the energy to the hands into the body. They immediately feel the heat move into their chest, right? And then they have a way of moving the breath in the hands that I teach them that they can feel the pulsating, which actually moves the energy, right? So when things get stuck, the only problems people have in life is something gets stuck. Right. Whether it's the mind, whether it's the heart, whether it's something stuck in the liver, the stomach. So the key is everything is about something being stuck. So it's how do we move it? But if the whole body is made up of energy that is condensed, and we can control the energy and move the energy through it, why can't we utilize that to begin to remove things?
Right. Do you think negative energy is big, right? Mentally.
Yes, mentally. So we also understand that most of the cancers today are caused by stress, right? And stress can be very simply broken down to perspective, how they took something that happened in a traumatic instance. We believe that breast cancer is caused by long-held frustration and anger, and that's what causes the cancer in the breast. And so when I work with someone in that, and I find out when they literally were diagnosed or they began having problems, I can pinpoint 6 months before to exactly the month where they had the trauma. But you know, once they can cut the root of the trauma, then at that point, a lot of the people go into remission or have better treatments that work.
Right.
Right. And the ones that don't and continue with trauma, they'll just go down.
Because like, a lot of people say stress is a major contributing factor to disease.
Johns Hopkins University, yes, 100%. Right? 100%. It's probably the most significant factor. The only other things are poison, the bad air, bad food, accidents. Everything else is a problem of the mind and a problem of the energy.
Right. Which, and I understand that because you hear more. All I hear now is stress, anxiety, stress, anxiety. Yeah, we understand.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to drink too much, you're going to do drugs. That's another factor. You
Right.
smoke too much, of course.
Well, those are external issues that are brought in, but the majority of problems come from the inside.
Right. And they don't know how to release the stress.
Right.
That's why I think the Qigong or even the Tai Chi
Yes.
is probably a good practice.
Definitely a good practice, yes.
I know we can use a lot of people at Clifton can use some de-stressing.
It's the whole world right
No,
now.
I know it's
Yes.
tough.
Yes.
It's tough. It's a hard world to live in.
And it is,
You know,
yes.
especially after COVID.
True.
It created a lot of problems, especially for younger kids, because they don't. You know, I grew up with a different world.
Oh, totally.
They grow up with something that after 9/11, after 9/11 plus COVID,
Yes.
COVID changed a lot of things. So I think this is important, but so just give me a little history. Where did you learn all this from? Because I know you're the Kung Fu.
So I began Kung Fu at 6 years old, right, basically. My first thing was about learning how to teach women how not to get beat up by men, right? That was my thought, right? I came from a family that had abuse in it, and I just wanted to protect my mom, right? That was number one. Number two, as I got older, I realized that when I began teaching, I realized I can help people with what I have, but with what I have, they were never 100%, right? So build their self-esteem, make them strong, make them move forward. Then, when I began learning the medicine, bone-setting medicine, and what we call Tuina therapy, which is another major medicine from China, I began practicing that. I can help people with their injuries, but there was always something more, but it was the emotional factor, right? Then I realized that's what what addressed it? So I found the doctor, Dr. Su Guoxi in Connecticut, and he was the head of the Shanghai School of Traditional Medicine for Tuina therapy and medical Qigong. And he was really famous for his work. And I met him, and actually I was bringing a patient who was in a wheelchair to his wife to be treated.
Wow.
And then I just came across information while I was waiting, and I was like, they do that here? And then all of a sudden, a few years later, I said, what did I want to do? I was like, that. So I went and studied with, I apprenticed with him for 10 years. And in doing so, he taught me how to use the power of the mind. But again, in all the practices, I learned Qigong, but some for martial, some for other practices. But this one really, really made it happen.
Incorporating it.
Yes.
This is a very interesting topic, and I understand it because I'm trying to relate it to stress and anxiety. If people want to learn more, you could contact Sifu. We'll list your information on the bottom, because right now some people don't know where to turn.
Right.
They don't know where to go, who's going to help them. And there's not that many people out there that are doing these kind of things.
Right.
Sometimes you need alternative, I don't want to say medicine,
Right.
but alternatives to your problems. So hopefully that they'll reach out.
Right.
I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And
Appreciate it.
hope we'll see you again on the show.
You shall.
But
Thank you.
But thank you. I
Thank
appreciate
you
it.
so much. Thank you.
We'll be
Thank
right
you.
back. Okay, so welcome back with my next guest, Miss Kirsten Genovese. I hope I said that right. Studio owner of Genovese Dance Alliance. And tonight's topic is going to be the growth and future of dance education. But first, what's your inspiration for starting the Alliance?
My inspiration was to continue to give the best education of dance to all students and adults. I think it's really important that dance is taught and it's part of their community and growth.
Okay, and you teach children and adults, right?
Yes.
Okay, is there an age limit?
There's no age limit.
I'm just curious.
As long as they're able to pick up the movement and participate.
I just want to know if it's too late for me to learn how to dance.
But I have my oldest dancer is 73.
Okay, oh good, so there's hope for me. So how do you approach creating and nurturing the environment for the younger dancers?
I really encourage by all-inclusive, all levels, non-competitive, although we do have a competitive team, but we do compete competitively, but having an atmosphere that is non-competitive.
Okay. You think is it important for the kids to learn the competition? Yeah.
I think it's important to have a level of competition to see what else is out there. You do not have to have competitive experience to perform competitively, but I think it gives you something to aspire to.
Okay.
See what something outside of your normal day-to-day box recreationally.
Right. So, I mean, so with the younger students, they're coming in and they're taking dance lessons. What type of dance are they learning? Ballet,
They're learning ballet, tap, jazz. For the most part, we do have an acro dance class as well, but you have to take the fundamentals of dance in order to take the acro to do it safely. We want them to learn all styles. However, we are strictly a ballet, tap, and jazz dance studio.
Okay, and you think for the younger kids, and it's a form of exercise also, right? They're getting
It's
their
incredible.
exercise in. And on a mental level, self-esteem, you think this helps the kids a little?
Major. And they're learning teamwork. And they're learning puzzles. And you see when they go to pre-K, they're already ahead of their classmates.
Right. And it gives them, would you say, like some self-confidence or in being social with other people?
It's an incredible confidence builder. They are so smart and hands-on. We are really hands-on as well. So.
Okay. So, and I have a question here. What does the role of the community play for your studio's success?
It actually it means a lot to us because we want our students to be involved in something bigger than themselves as well.
Right.
We want them to be a part of the community. It's not just about dance. We want dance to be part of everyone's lives, if that's giving back to the community, but also the parents, teachers, and our staff. They're a part of our dance studio as well, and the success.
And I think it's important because it's the arts. Mm-hmm. So it's good for kids to, be balanced. You have music, painting, and dance. These are all part of the arts. And I think every child should experience some of this because it's not academic.
Correct.
It's an art. And I'm sure some of these kids may go on to
That's our hope. We want them to be able to
get parts in movies or something like that.
And, like, on the academic side, have you ever had parents bring their children to say, they're not doing that well in school, and because of dance, they kind of excelled in it, flowed into like their academic lessons as well?
Every day.
Oh,
so
okay.
I see their responsibilities for themselves. They have more responsibilities, and I actually encourage that they get good grades. Thank your parents. Be appreciative. I encourage that in our studio because it's important. They go hand in hand. So
Double benefit, for
it
sure.
is double, especially
Nice,
if you're going to be on our competition team. That is part of their contract, is that they have to continue to get good grades. It cannot just be about dance. It has to be about their schoolwork as well.
And
They go
a
together.
certain amount of discipline involved because there's practice, right? So you have to be conscientious and disciplined. So I think that helps you in life also with everything else. If you learn how to be disciplined in one area, I think it travels to the next area.
We want them to strive to be good citizens, good role models,
Of course.
and that is very important to us at my dance studio anyway.
So, and are there any trends or challenges, in the future for dance education?
I think our challenge right now is TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm trying to incorporate, at least to my older kids, okay, we'll do a TikTok and dance class. Like, they'll let them do one fun thing because they're all about that TikTok. But I do like that they're dancing, so that is a new trend.
It's the social media.
Unfortunately, the social media is an aspect of it that I didn't think that we would be.
I don't even know how you
battling.
incorporate TikTok into the classes, to be honest with you.
At the end, I make it really fun. Let's put it together, but you have to know your counts. 5, 6, 7, 8. You have to know the counts to
really?
it. If you're going to teach us, you have to put the counts to it. So we have to add a challenge.
Well, and kids are on that.
They're all on that.
It's a shame, but at least they're being active at your class. They're not sitting home.
So I'll watch them perform in the street fair, and then I'll watch them immediately after they're creating a TikTok together. And I'm just...
That's okay. Listen, that's creativity too.
Yep, it's balance.
It's okay. And probably lastly is any projects coming up or performances that people might be able to come to or see or.
So we're looking to have a holiday performance in December. We also, in the future, I would like to do a jazz show benefit, which is Children Dancing for Children. So I would like to start raising money for a hospital or organization with our competitive team,
Right.
hosting a jazz show where all proceeds go to that organization. And that's for our competitive team also to perform and be a part of the community. We also have competitions coming up as well as our end of year recital in June. So
Okay,
a
well,
few
we
things.
will list underneath your name, the school and,
Sure.
and how to contact you. And we appreciate you coming on. We understand we try to push the arts.
Yes.
And dance has been around since the beginning of time, right? The cavemen danced. So, I don't have any music, but dance is big. Dance is older than time. So it's, you're carrying on a tradition, which we appreciate, and we're glad you're in our town. So
Thank you.
for coming on.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, and we'll see you soon. We'll be right back.
Hey, pretty baby, don't you hear the band of dance? You hear the hip hip with the backbeat. Don't you see the gang grooving? You gotta get your bottom moving. You gotta slap, bump, flip, flop, hip hop never stops.
Well, we thank everyone for tuning in tonight. We hope you enjoyed the show. As always, be good to your friends and family. Respect your neighbors. This is a great city. Keep Clifton close to your heart. Thank you, and have a good night.